Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Diego Monroy. As a part of consultant team at Information Workers, I've worked on Power BI for about some years, and today I'm gonna share with you the lab number 3 that it's called data visualization. So you already did different things in Power BI. You connected to data sources, cleaned the data working on Power Query inside Power BI desktop, load the data, maybe made different measures and calculate columns. And in this part, you have the data that you need, that you want to show. So we're gonna tell an history from our data in this part, working on Power BI. And what is the better visual to show and speak about that history, or maybe to answer a specific requirement from our boss, from the general manager, and also to find different ways to answer business questions that is really target working on uh, BI projects. So in this lab, we're gonna cover different topics to make a smart report in Power BI, working on the different visuals to show our data that better we can. And of course, we also covered some topics about the design. And to do that, first of all, I want to share with you what is our target in this lab. So the image that you are watching in this moment, it's our target. All of you guys make a report like this. At the end of the lab, you will complete a full report that is ready to publish in Power BI service. And also, working on Power BI desktop, we want to learn how to do a conditional formatting color in the background and different visuals, uh, how to make or build different bar charts, make a gauge chart or visual with a target value, to import and custom visual from the marketplace and integrate it to our report. Also, we gonna know how to make bookmarks and link them to a button to tell that history, and working on the design, inserting some image, make a title, and also we're gonna cover how to um, apply a logo to a filter visual. So that's our target, and here we go. Let's go to the lab number 3. Okay, so now we are inside Power BI desktop in our lab number 3, data visualization. So first of all, guys, I want to tell you that you have a PDF file like this inside your dashboard in a day folder with all the steps in this lab, so you can follow them at the same time that I showing this lab to you. And also, if some of you guys haven't completed the previous lab, you can start to the file that is called lab 2 solution pvx file, that is also in your dashboard in a day folder. All right, so let's go to the lab number 3. So we have some visual in here in this page number 1, and if you click on it, you can see which visual is. So this is a matrix visual. In here you already created a slicer visual with a manufacturer inside it. You also have two different bar charts in here. One of them revenue by year and another one revenue by year and manufacturer groups as a legend. All right, so we also created a card with a revenue. So that's all of the visuals in here. And let's start to do the first part of our lab, that is conditional formatting. Alright, so please click on our matrix visual. So be sure that is selected, and let's go to our fields pane, and let's a little bit down, and you can find here all the values as a column in our matrix. So you can find revenue, sales, and growth. So please click on the arrow next to the growth, and you can find conditional formatting color to the background, front, data bars, icons, and URL web. So we want to take a little view how data bars works. So click on it, please. And in this new window, you can select if you're gonna show a bar for each row in our matrix. So click in here if you wanna show just the bar only, or if you wanna show the value inside the bar. So you're gonna have positive bars in this blue and negative this color for the lowest value to the maximum value. All right, so click on OK, and now you have a bar for each row in your matrix. Okay, so please let's go again to the values. Click on the arrow next to the growth, and we want to know how to remove all the conditional formatting in this visual. So let's click remove conditional formatting and click please in all. Now is clean it. So we're gonna go to the values again, growth, click on the arrow next to the growth, conditional formatting, and now we're gonna cover how background color works. Click please on it, and you can select it in here, format by a different or a specific value, some rules that you have to apply, or just color scale. Just we want to select color scale. This tick in this box to apply diverging, and you can see now this scale of colors to the lowest value to the highest value. Just click OK, and now we have our matrix visual with a formatting background color to each row that is gonna be taking different color for a specific growth value if this change. All right, we have our conditional color formatting done. So now I'm completely sure you guys know what is Power Query. All right, so in this part of the lab we're gonna go there in here. Just click please in home, and you can also expand this, transform data, and click in transform. And now we are in Power Query editor. So if you can see some like these errors, you have to change the source, redirect it. How to do that is simple. Just click on data source settings. You in here can see all the sources that you have. You have US sales in this folder, and in this one you have to redirect this one, international sales folder. So click in change source, and please select in your computer dashboard in a day folder where it's located. So in here I can click in here dashboard in a day folder, and I'm gonna select this international sales folder. Okay, and click close. And now you can see that we don't have any errors in our queries. So just we're gonna a little bit view in sales query, and in here you already did in previous lab a filter, and in this lab we're gonna know how to clean this filter. You can different ways to do it. So the first one is to click in this icon in the column date. We are in sales query, click on it and just clear filter, and it's cleaned. Now also you can delete this step filter rows if you want, and it's the same. So now we have all dates between some years. So now just click in the close and apply button and just wait a little bit that is load different changes that we created in Power Query, and we are loading to Power BI desktop. Okay, the data is already loaded, so we can see now in this revenue by year bar chart that we have data from 2012 to 2019. So it's already loaded all the dates in that column that we remove that filter. All right, so now we're gonna cover this specific visual that is called a slicer. You can see that is a slicer in here in the visualizations pane, and is a slicer. A slicer is a kind of visual that you can filter different information inside it. So inside this slicer we have manufacturers, all the manufacturers that we have in our manufacturers table. So in this case we are filter Van Arsels, but you can select Narura, Alkili, or also Van Arsels, and all the visuals in the page gonna be filtered by this. And also we have in the top and right top in this visual we have like eraser, and you can click on it and you clean all the filters that you applied. All right, so you can also change the form that you are showing that information in this slicer. So first of all you have a list that you can select as a list which manufacturers you want to filter, or maybe a drop down that just click on here and you select. So we want to take a little view of list and click please on list, and now we have a list of manufacturers to be filtered in this visual. So please be sure that this slicer be selected, and let's go to the format pane. In this format pane, in this as a pointer, you can find all the options to change in this visual in the format. All right, so if you click please in general and change, you have orientation. So you have vertical and horizontal orientation, so you have changed this to horizontal, and maybe you can view a little bit better as a filter that you select one of them and it's gonna be filtered as well. Just you are changing the form to show this slicer. Okay, so now we can see that maybe it's looked like better than before, but it would be fantastic that we can insert as an image for each manufacturer in this visual slicer visual, and it's still working as a filter. Will be fantastic for the design to the report. So we're gonna know how to do that. First of all, I invite you to click on in the left part in our data visual, and click please in manufacturer. See that we have all manufacturers in this column, and we have also a URL image logo in this column. So what we're gonna do is to change this column that is gonna be manufacturer to logo. First of all, we wanna do that. How to do that? Please be sure that you are selected this visual that is selected, and go to the fields pane in here, manufacturer, and change in this field pane. Click in this button to clean, and let's go click in logo. So now we have just the URL direction to that, but we now cannot view the image from that URL. So you have to enable that URL is an image. We have to say to Power BI Desktop that URL is an image. How to do that? Please click in logo in the manufacturer table, and let's go to the column tools in the top of this report. And in this case, we're gonna search data category, and in this case is uncategorized. All right, so please change and look that says Power BI Desktop that this URL is an image. All right, so click image URL. If you have some image that we are working, and now we have a URL that is not working, so just clean again the field in the field pane, and click also the logo, and now you can see that we have all manufacturers logo as an image in Power BI Desktop. That is gonna be better, looks like better than before, that we have a simple filter, and now we have a image to filter all this information. And how does it work? The same. If you click in bad answer sales, it's filtered all the visual in this page. It will be fantastic for this design, this report. Right, we are here in our report. Just a little bit, take this smaller and go to the top of the report. Let's keep down and make this bigger. So this is our column chart visual revenue by year. We know that is a kind of visual. Click on this state column chart. Now we have in the field pane that we have different options in this chart. We have an axis, an x-axis in this case, that you have a date hierarchy, and you can navigate inside there. And we also have a legend, and in this case just we have revenue in the y left axis. But you can change it. You can change the visual, and the information inside it is not gonna be changed. So now we have a state column. So be sure that this visual is selected and changed for this option, line and clustered column chart. The kind of visual changed, that information is not changed, right? But we have different options now in this field pane. We have line values, and it's gonna be show to you how does it work. We have a sales table, and it's gonna be growth inside there, inside line values. And now we can see that we have a line in the y right part in this visual with a percentage of growth, and also have a revenue as a column. Okay, so now we have our revenue and percentage of growth by year visual in here, and we have two different y axes. Okay, so guys, now we're gonna cover different things about format in this visual. Colors, background, borders, labels, you can find them in our format pane. You can explore different options that you have in here. For example, you can change different colors to the line. For what I want to choose this, or maybe you want to be yellow in the columns, and also you can revert to the default color that we had. Also, you can apply data labels in each column in here and explore different options that you have inside here. So this format pane is to make changes, format changes in this visual, and you can explore different options that you have inside it. Okay, so now we want to know about this card visual. Card is you can find in the visualization panes. In this part is a card visual, and it's really useful to show a single value. In this case, we are showing revenue, and you can explore different options in this part of format that you can custom it. All right, so it's to show a single value, and you also can change this visual to another one. So let's go to the visualization pane, and in this moment is a car, and if you click in the gauge visual, so now change. So you have the same information in another visual. This is a gauge visual. Gauge visual is useful to show target values and executions values. How does it work? If you go to the fields pane in here, you can now see that you can have a minimum value showing in this part, in the left part of the visual, and you have a maximum value in the right part. You have a specific value that in this case is revenue, and you also can apply a target value. What is our target value? You want to take these sales, PG sales, and insert in target value. This is our target value as a target, and you can also have an execution in this case for 132 millions. All right, so this is a useful visual to show this kind of requirements. You also can explore these custom visualization formats in the format pane, that you can change these colors. So if you want to take this color for this, and if you want to change target for yellow, and if you want to save some changes in the gauge, insert a minimum, insert a maximum value, or explore different options that you have to make changes in these visuals. Okay, so now we want to talk about different design options that we have in Power BI Desktop. One of them, if you go up the top of your report and click on View, you can see now different themes that you have in Power BI. Click in here, and you have different default themes. You can choose, for example, this temperature. So click on it, and all the visuals in the page change. The color and the labels, and in this case the background colors change it. And in this case, specifically gauge visual, you can go to the data colors, and remember that we already changed these colors, and now just clicking on revert to default, now you can get the default color stems. So if you expand these options, you can search different JSON files in your computer to make a custom theme in your report, to import it. You can also have theme gallery, where you can find different options and maybe customize a current theme. you can customize it for maybe some colors, some text, or some things, signs, or different kind of option that you have. You also can save a current theme in a JSON file and export it. So now we already know that we can import a custom theme that is a JSON file and is in our computer. So click please in the view part and expand these theme options and click on browse for themes, and we gonna go to our dashboard day folder, click instructor, click data, theme, and let's go to the DIAD theme 2. Is a JSON file that I already said. So click open, and now you can see that we have explicitly colors and labels and background colors to these visuals. We imported this theme to our report. Okay, so after to import this theme, I wanna make this report beautiful in the design. So first of all, I want to make this matrix smaller in this case, and maybe move to the top a little bit. This graph, this chart, revenue by country and manufacturer groups, is going to be bigger, but first of all I want to move this to the top and make it bigger. So in this case we have different countries in the x-axis to an specific manufacturer group that is filtered. But if you clean the filter, now you have two groups: top competitors and vendors. And in this case you are showing in this chart different countries by revenue. You can explore different options as well that you have in the format pane. So I want to enable data labels, and in this case is white, but you can change it for maybe black. And also you can change, if you going down, you can select text signs, font family if you want, and if you enable these options, now you can change the background. So I think a kind of Y, and you can modify the transparency. So this I think is a really good view to this kind of visual. So you can explore these options in the format pane to make changes in your visual. Maybe I don't want to show that it says revenue in here and country in here. So you go to the X axis, and if you are looking for title in this case, and put in off. And the same thing in the Y axis, that you have this kind of title of. You have different options to make changes in this visual. Okay, so we're gonna continue working in the report design. Now we're gonna talk about which different options to insert visuals or different insert options we have in Power BI Desktop. So please click in the top of the report, click in the insert option, and you can insert different visuals for from visualization pane, like this matrix, like these bar charts, and also you can insert different buttons, shapes, and image from your computer. Also, you can create a text box, so please click on the text box and move to the top of our report, and you can write in here the title for our report. In this case, I'm gonna write manufacturer analysis. You can change these format options. Maybe you wanna choose different family, Arial black, and text size, maybe 28, a little bit bigger, 24, and now you can click in black and in the center. So you can modify these kind of options. Also, you can go to the visualization format pane in this kind, and you can create a custom background color. In this case, you can choose and modify the transparency. In this case, if you want to custom this specifically visual text box, you can do a lot of things to explore in here. To make easier working on the design in this report, in each report that you wanna make, you can go and explore different options that you have in the view button in the top of the report. So please click on it, and in the center you can view three different options. If you tick in the first one, grid lens, now you can see, if I maybe make it bigger, different points to make easier to move different objects in this report. Also, you have the option to log objects. So if you already finished the report, you tick this option and you couldn't move any visual in your report. So that's a really good option that you have to working on the design. So now we're gonna talk about different pages option that you have. You can create a new one just clicking on this image, yellow image, and you can create different pages in Power BI. You also can delete one, just right click on it and click delete page. Delete. It's the same thing for each page. You also can duplicate a page. In this case, I want to duplicate page number 1, and first of all I want to delete this one and make different changes in this visual. Alright, you can change the name, just right click on it and rename, and you can write which name that you want. Page 34, for example. Yep. So you can navigate for different pages, and you also can hide a page. What hide a page mean? When you finish the report and it's ready to be published to Power BI service, just in Power BI service you can just see this page, page number 1, is because page 34 is hidden. For that reason, just click delete this page and we continue working in our page number 1. Okay, so guys, now we're gonna talk about one of the most important things that Power BI have to improve the design of our reports, and it's to import an image from our computer to the background of the page to make better the design, make beautiful this report. So how does it work? So first of all, please be sure that you click in the page, no in a visual, right? And go to the format pane in this part, and go to the page background, click on it, and we have this option in here that is add an image. So please click in add image and go to our Dash folder, click structure data, and we have an image in JPG format background, and click open. Power BI already imported the image from our computer to the report page. So let's take a little view for our options in the format pane, and in this case we are not watching that background image, right? So check the transparency, it's in 100%, so go to 0, and also we have to say to Power BI that we want to fit that image to our page report. So now we have a background, but we have to turn off the background of each visual. So let's go to do it. You have to click on the visual and go to the format pane and put on off background option in this case. So do that for each visual, and you can now watch or see better our background image. So go in here and put this off, go in here and put this off, and go in here and put this off. So now you can see that we have a custom image in the background of this page. Alright, so we already have a custom image in the background in this page, and just want to take a little bit view to order this report. Okay, so I want to move this visual to this part of the report and make it white. So if you want to change the color to the text, just click on it and go to this option in the A option, and you can change for white. Maybe make a little smaller. I think 20, it's okay. 18. All right, 18. And customize this a little bit smaller. All right. So also you can move this visual that match with the background that we have, right? So I take this one, this part, make smaller and fit it with the background, and do the same thing with this matrix. So make a little bit smaller in this part and smaller in here, and change the signs from each column to fit it and looking for all information in the matrix, right? Okay, so take this visual a little bit smaller in this part. You can see that we have in the format pane this header logo. We have to turn this off and also fit it. So you can see now an arrow. If you click on the arrow, you can go to the rest of image in the manufacturer filter. All right. So I think we can't do that. Everything is clear, and each image in this filter you can see now all of them without arrow. All right, so make it possible a little bit to the right. You can move it as well with your arrows in your keyboard. All right, so finally I just want take this little bit smaller and fit this visual with my background. A little bit smaller in here. And all right, now we have, and you guys can see that we have a really clear report in Power BI Desktop with some design changes. And also I can do this in this visual. I want to change the background colors. If you want to do it, just click on it and go to the format pane and go to the background and turn this on and change this format color to white and go to transparency and click in 0 to do this and this to make it white in the background. So, all right, I think looks like good. Okay, fantastic. Now we have a really good report. Looks like really clear, and it's a good design, isn't it? So we can do more things. Just take a little bit this visual, this gauge mode, expand this taller. All right, and we talk about how to insert an image from our computer. So you go to the insert button in the top. You already insert a text box. You can insert buttons, shapes, and in this part we're gonna learn how to import an image or insert an image. Click in the image to shares in our computer. So click in our dashboard in a data folder and go to structure, go to data, and we have in this one Van Arcel logo in this format. Just click in open, and now we have the image in our report. Just click in this image and go to the top, maybe expand a little bit and move to the center. All right, so you can do that easily. Just click in the image, select that image that you want to import or insert in our report, and you can make changes in the format image in this part in the format pane. All right, so now we're gonna take a little view and talking about custom visuals. You already know that we have a default visuals in Power BI Desktop, and you can find bar charts like this one, a gauge, a matrix, and a slicer, and maybe you can a card or a donut, different kind of default visual that are inside here. But you also have this option, so click please in these 3 points and please click in get more visuals. When you click in that, in the new window, gonna be the marketplace in Power BI. And in here is different categories of different visuals that you can get from the marketplace. So you can select, for examples, in this category of maps, this kind of visual that you can add into our report. So you can select in all, and you can check this tick. It is to be certified by Power BI. What does it mean? That it has each code to export to an Excel or maybe to another source, and each code the Power BI support need to be integrated in Power BI Desktop. But also you can get different visuals that is not certificated but working so good in Power BI Desktop. Okay, so in this slide we're gonna search for the play axis and click enter, and we have multiple axes. No, so click just play axis EL dynamic play axis dynamic slicers. So we wanna import this visual and just click on it and click in add. Wait a little bit, just click successfully and okay. So you can default uh, objects, visual objects visualization in here, and if you can see a little bit line in this part, you can in this part find that visuals the was imported from the marketplace, and if you click on it you can move that visual like a default visual for your page. Okay, so now in here we have imported custom visuals that is called play axis, and in this section we're gonna know how does it work in Power BI. First of all, just click on it and be sure that it's selected, and click expand the fields pane and go to date table and click in date. So this is a visual that already has all the format pane options to change. For example, if you wanna change all colors, is because you want to show all of them, and if you want to make it I don't know, green, or maybe I don't know, this color, this kind of red. But if you can revert to default, and again you can do a lot of things. So be possible to explore all these options in this visual to understand what really you can do in the format of each visual. All right, so we have in this fields pane the date as a hierarchy. Just I want to show you year, just date as a year, and I want to make a little bit to show you clear how does this working. So if I click in the yellow arrow in the play, you can see now that is an history between all years that we have. So you can change it 2013, 2014, and you can do that for each visual to tell an history about your data. It's a really good visual. So I want to take a little bit, so a little bit bigger. Also, you can just play, click on play, and it's gonna be automatically changed between all years that we have. And really good thing to see in that and to tell you is going to filter each visual in this page for each year that is gonna be in here in the year in the play axis filter. So it's a slicer visual, so it's gonna be filtered all the page to different objects, visuals in here. It's gonna be filtered by this year. So now we wanna tell about interactions between objects, between visuals. So if you click on play and you play really attentions, you can now see that it's gonna be highlighting. Yeah, you highlight each year, and in this case as well. So click please in this play axis slicer and go to the top and click please in format. You can in the left part, in the top left part, find edit interaction buttons. Click on it, and you can that you have two different options. One of them is to don't filter it. You don't want to this gauge gonna be filtered by this slicer. So if you want it, just click in this button, and if you want to filter that, just click on in the filter button. But in this case, in revenue and percentage of growth by year, but clicking on it, you have three different options. If you don't want to filter this visual, if you want to highlight this visual as we cover, and of course if you want just a filter. So what is the difference between highlight and filter? Let's click in filter and click edit interaction, and let's get play again. Play again. Yes, and now we cannot cannot watch all the years in this visual, just a specific visual that is gonna be filtered. So that's the difference between highlights and filters. So the interested of this part in this lab is you can change that those interactions from all your data and all your filters that you have in here to tell an history about it. All right, so now we wanna talk about the last part of our lab number 3, data visualization, and it's a really good and interesting part of Power BI Desktop. I think it's one of the most useful things in Power BI Desktop, and it's called bookmark. What a bookmark is like a smart description for our page, and all the visuals in this page and all the filters in each visual in this page and each interaction between them. So how does this work? Let's talk a little bit view about it. Please click on the top of your report on view and click please on bookmarks. If you click in the bookmarks pane on add, you can create a new one, and it's gonna be I think called first part. And if you click in the 3 points next to the name, you can see that it's a screenshot, but it saved data, displayed, the current page, and all the visuals. All right. So if you can add another one, maybe I want to make a little bit changes in here. I want to filter but band dorsal sales, and just I want to show a specific year, 2013. All right, and I want to save this bookmark as some band dorsal sales PS. All right, and if I click on the first part, it show me the first bookmark as the page and all the filters between the visuals in the page. And if I click on the second one, showing Power BI showing me band dorsals filtered by band dorsal sales and filtered by 2013. It's a really good way to tell an history about your data, and you can do more things in here. For example, you can add a new one and click on Alt key and click in I don't know, maybe 15. So it's gonna be name Alt key. So be sure that it's gonna be on Alt key and in 2016. If you click on the points next to the Alt key and click update, it's gonna be save it. So first part, band dorsals now, and Alt key now. It's a really good way to come. And if you go to the view, you have like a presentation where you have all your bookmarks that you created, and if you click on this arrow, you can navigate between them. It's a really good option to tell an history about your data. All right, so working with bookmarks is a really good idea to make a report really dynamic, but you have to be really focused on the bookmark that you are saved, because you have different pages maybe in your report, or maybe you have multiple bookmarks already created. But now we want to talk about a specific function in bookmarks. So what is this function? Is because you can choose which objects in your page you want to show with a bookmark, and you can choose as well which objects you don't want to show. How does it work? Just take a little view about it. Click please on view, and click please in selection pane and bookmarks pane. We can click on it, and we have the selection pane. You can find each visual in your page, and in the bookmarks pane all bookmarks that you already create, right? So please click if you don't want to show some visuals. Is because I don't want to show this slicer in this case. Just I want to click in here, show this visual, and disable this option, and you can see it now, and create a bookmark. I want to delete this one and create a new one, and I want to, it's called maybe I don't know, without filter, and of course I want to save each things. And also I want to create another one with another visual. So I want to show you, I can click in this visualization pane, and I want to create a card for this, and I want to show I don't know, click in the fields pane, and in sales I want to show PGL sales as a card. In this case I want to data label, and click in this text signs to be smaller. I think it's good. And now I have a new visual object in this report. So clicks in the view and click on bookmark pane, selection pane, and now we have a card in here. So click in this card okay, so I can see now the card without filter. Right, so add new bookmark card and click in filter. You can see the card as well, and in here you can see the card. What we had to do in card, I want to see the card and I don't want to see the year, right? But without filter I want to see the year, but I don't want to see the card, right? And I want to update this bookmark. All right, so I want the card here and I want the filter here. And the last part in this live is show you guys how to link the bookmarks to a specifically image or button. In this case I want to insert a button, so it's really easy. Just click in the insert part in the top of our report and click in button. So I want to choose this blank button, and it's created in this part, and I want to expand. In this case I want to copy and paste it. I have two buttons in here. One of them I want to call in general, in visualization pane, in format pane is the same. I want to button text, and enable this one, this option, and I want to be gonna filter year. All right, and in this case it's gonna enable this thing, and it's gonna be PG sales. PG sales is called PG sales. And what it's gonna do now, I want to link that bookmarks with this button. So filter year, I want to show the year, so please click in the button, go to the visualization pane, go to the action and enable this, and you can select type. So I want to select a bookmark type, and which bookmark I want to apply. In this case, without to filter year, I want to be with this one. On PG sales, I want to do the same steps. Click on action, I want to click on bookmark, and now I want to be cart, right? On filter year, if I control click, because we are in Power BI desktop and we are designing, control plus click in filter year, and you can see the filter. And now in PG cells, in change, filter year and PG cells. So you can do a lot of things with bookmarks. You can link pages, different pages in your report. You can link different filters in one page. You can select different objects that you wanna show and you don't want to show. So it's a really good option in Power BI, and just do by yourself. Alright guys, we already covered each item in this lab number 3, data visualization. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you can create a new reports by yourself working in Power BI desktop, and I hope see you again. Thank you very much and goodbye.